What does the scouter say about his subscriber count?
It's over 9,000!
There's no way that could be right!
Alrighty guys, it is Qaaman here today, and I am making this video to thank every single one of you for allowing me to make this video. As you guys could have seen, Black and Fist has helped me create an over 9,000 video because I have a subscriber count of over 9,000. So I would like to thank each and every single one of you for all of your support. You guys are the sole purpose of why I continue to make videos the way I do. I put a lot of work into my videos, and my videos aren't easy to make, but I try my best to make the best quality for you guys. So, to top it off with this 9,000 subscribers special, I decided that I should devote some of my time into answering some of the questions that I unfortunately wasn't able to answer for a long time. And I'm joined today by my video partner,
Black and Fist. Hello everybody. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be of assistance to Qaaman, especially in that intro that I made for him.
Yes, and Black and Fist, what does me hitting 9,000 subscribers say about our channels and their growth?
Well, first of all, I think it's freaking crazy that, what is it, less than a year, right?
Yes.
Within less than a year, you've gone from pretty much, like, under 1,000 to over 9,000. So, I mean, the channel growth that you're getting is freaking ridiculous. I think that's awesome. Right. I think that you have caused a lot of presence here on YouTube in terms of Dragon Ball.
Yes, definitely. And one thing that I'd like to say, guys, is that Black and Fist makes a lot of YouTube videos too, so please share him the love, as he can definitely use some of you guys to watch his channel. As a matter of fact, he has my backup channel, so please subscribe to him, guys. If my channel ever breaks down, I am going to make all of my videos on his channel instead of starting a brand new channel from scratch, which would cause a lot of confusion. So please keep that in mind. So in today's video, we will be answering a lot of the questions that I wasn't able to answer for a long time. And if you see your question here, I will definitely answer it. I am not going to skip everything. We will answer questions that are ridiculous, and we will make this a long video. So, guys, our time is your time. So let's begin. So, Black and Fist, I'd like you to answer the first question.
What if Gohan killed Cell earlier? I think he meant to say, what if Gohan killed Cell earlier? So Goku would survive and Cell would not have vomited up Android 18. Would have Gohan gotten stronger with Goku's influence? And would Goku have become SSJ3? I just think this would be a great thing to talk about.
I'll let you answer that one, Black and Fist. Share your thoughts.
Well, it's pretty obvious that Goku would have survived if Gohan killed Cell earlier. This is pretty obvious. I mean, the whole reason Goku died was because, you know, Gohan didn't kill Cell, and he got into a situation where the only way to get out of it, Goku needed to sacrifice himself. As far as vomiting Android 18, well, that depends on what time exactly Gohan kills him. Gohan obviously could have killed Cell like when he transformed instantly back into his semi-perfect form. He could have killed him then before he blew himself up to, you know, fat proportions. He also could have killed him in his perfect form earlier. I mean, he was dominating him. So yeah, that could have been very well true. He could have killed him in his perfect form with 18 still inside him. As for Goku not becoming SSJ, I think this is the most interesting thing, because it's true, very true, that the training that Goku received in the other world was very imperative in him reaching Super Saiyan 3. So I think that him not dying could have impaired that in the long run.
Right, because he wouldn't be able to train at the same rate, because it wouldn't have the strain on his body. I completely agree with you, Black and Fist, and I definitely think that if Goku did not die, I think he would not have been able to turn to Super Saiyan 3. And if he was able to turn Super Saiyan 3, I definitely don't think it would be as strong as the Super Saiyan 3 he became in the afterlife. So, now that we answered this one, let's move on to the next. What if Turles raised Gohan? How strong do you think Gohan would turn out by the time he is like 20 years? P.S. Every now and then Gohan gets some fruit of the Tree of Might twice a month during training. Wow, this is actually quite an interesting question here. Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is that if Gohan was trained by Turles, I think that he would be limited in how strong he could become, and here's why. Even though Goku is a low-class Saiyan, Goku knows how to significantly multiply his power at a rate that nobody else in Dragon Ball Z can except for Gohan because of his potential energy. Because of that, if Goku was dead, I'm assuming, and Piccolo was dead, I don't think Gohan would be able to train at the same rate that he would, and he wouldn't have learned many of the tools and tricks that he learned from Goku and Piccolo. Black and Fist, what do you have to say?
That's a very what-if scenario. I would have to say that because a lot of what Gohan's fighting potential also has to come due to his desire to protect others. So I don't know if like Turles would be able to overwrite his nature, but I would assume that that would completely be thrown out the window, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing that that would severely impair Gohan's fighting potential. Because I'm pretty sure Turles would be pretty brutal with Gohan, trying to get him stronger, and I'm not sure if that's the best way to get Gohan to be stronger.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Gohan may have killed him in his rage one day, if you really think about it.
Yeah, and you know what? That also could be a very good possibility, too. I mean, if we're going down a what-if scenario, that is a very good possibility that Turles might lose control of Gohan and might end up dead by him.
Yeah.
You know?
Alright, so we got this one out of the way. Now let's see the next question. Super Janemba versus Super Buu. I think Super Janemba. I think Super Janemba too. Black and Fist, what do you say?
Well, Super Janemba, I think, was implied in the movie to be stronger than Buu, wasn't he? I mean, it was. I think this is pretty hands down because even Goku himself said that it wasn't like directly implied, but he said that, you know, I hadn't faced an opponent such as your strength and caliber since I faced Majin Buu, and not to mention that it took Gogeta to take down
Janemba.
Super Janemba. So I think it's pretty heavily implied that Super Janemba would have was stronger than Super Buu. So yeah, I think this is pretty easy. I'd go with Super Janemba too.
I think that Super Buu would be stronger than Super Janemba, but I think you also have to consider what type of Super Buu. I don't think that Super Buu with Gohan, Gotenks, Piccolo, Goten, and Trunks would be weaker than Super Janemba, simply because of the fact that Vegito, even though Vegito in my opinion is stronger than Gogeta because because of the Potara fusion being stronger than the dance. So, and if you think about it, Super Vegito, even though he could have easily have killed Buu, he didn't dominate him the way Gogeta did. But then again, it's a movie and they have to make the pacing much faster. They have to basically squeeze everything into 40 minutes instead of, 20, 30 episodes. So I think that Super Buu with all of those characters is stronger than Super Janemba, but Super Janemba is stronger than all the other forms. Alright, let's see. I'll take this one. What do you think about Tapion? I think it would be great if he was canon. Well, I guess the one thing I can say about Tapion is I think he was a very, very, very interesting character with a very interesting background. And if you really think about it in Dragon Ball Z, most new characters in Dragon Ball Z are not good guys. Most new characters in Dragon Ball Z are bad guys. And I thought that it was pretty interesting how they had like an additional ally in Tapion who had his own backstory and such. And I think that it would be great if they did more stories on him. What do you think, Black and Fist?
Well, I think you kind of said some of the things that kind of sums up my thoughts. I think I've talked about, Wrath of the Dragon before and how it was my favorite movie, and out of all the Dragon Ball movies, I have not seen Battle of Gods. And one of the biggest things about Wrath of the Dragon that I did like was Tapion himself, and the introduction, of a character that wasn't exactly bad, because in most of these Dragon Ball movies, especially the Dragon Ball Z movies, the new characters are just the new villain, unlike Tapion. So I think Tapion was, a deep enough character for like a 40-minute movie. Right. You could have expanded upon him, I guess. But I think he was definitely one of the more interesting Dragon Ball Z movie characters, and I think that's one of the reasons why I picked Wrath of the Dragon as my favorite Dragon Ball Z movie. As for, I think it'd be neat if he was canon. I guess it would be neat, but he's not.
Yeah. I definitely agree, and as a matter of fact, if you guys are interested, Black and Fist made a video a while back on his top 17?
17. It was the 17 at the time.
Right.
That was before we knew about Battle of Gods.
Right. So if you guys are interested, please check out his video. Alright, let's see. You read this one, Black and Fist.
If Kid Trunks was able to become a Super Saiyan at such a young age and trained with Vegeta a lot, why is GT Trunks weaker than Future Trunks from the Android and Cell saga?
Oh man, I made a video very similar to this, but I let you take this one, Black and Fist.
Alright, well, my guess is that, first of all, there's a giant gap in between the years of the end of Z and the beginning of GT. The only explanation, the almost obvious explanation, is that obviously the current time, the main timeline Trunks obviously didn't have to fight and train as much as the one that was the Future Trunks from the, Android saga and, History of Trunks. That is the obvious answer. Even though he had achieved a Super Saiyan at a much earlier age.
Right. He never really, I completely agree with you, Black and Fist. Even though we can both agree that the Trunks from the main timeline, his potential was off the charts compared to the Future Trunks in terms of his potential from childhood. However, because of necessity, regular Trunks, or I should say Trunks from the main timeline, never really had to push himself, because think about it, he's sharing a planet with so many more people who were much stronger than him. He's sharing a planet with Vegeta, Goku, Gohan. You may even be able to make an argument that Goten is about the same as he is, along with Piccolo, who's, probably not too far from where Trunks is, because I'm sure Piccolo trained. So, you think about it, Trunks and Oob, let me not forget Oob. So, Trunks is on a planet with so many other guys who are about the same as him in power, if not more, so his need to train more is definitely not the same, which is why I definitely think Future Trunks is stronger, even though he has less potential. Alright.
I mean, Future Trunks is essentially the strongest guy on in the world.
The only real fighter, if you think about it, next to Mr. Popo.
Well, you can go to like Mr. Popo territory, and I guess he'd be like the second strongest, I believe.
Yep, and Master Roshi.
Well, then there's Master Roshi. He's back in the mix.
Yeah. Alright, let's see. I want you to take this one, Black and Fist.
3 months? Really, man?
What do you have to say about that, Black and Fist?
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, he's really addressing you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've had a lot of questions to do, and I've had a lot of topics, and I'm doing my time now, so I'm making up for it. Alright, let's move on. Hey Qaaman, what is your take on Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus Super Saiyan God Goku? I believe Super Saiyan God is much stronger, canon or not aside, because of how effortlessly he defeats the Z fighters. I'm sure you believe the same, and really hard to debate on a site where you can ask a question and get an answer. So yeah. Well, honestly, I actually did see the Battle of the God movie, so if any of you guys did not see Battle of the Gods, please tune off, because I did see it, and I have to say a little bit about it to get my points. Basically, between Super Saiyan God Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, if it follows the exact same timeline as Super Saiyan God Goku. Super Saiyan 4 Goku follows the same exact timeline, then Super Saiyan 4 Goku has to be much stronger than Super Saiyan God Goku for obvious reasons. Because Super Saiyan 4 Goku would have the Super Saiyan God inside of him, plus his additional Super Saiyan 4 transformation. So if we're just going by canon oddity or whatever you want to call it, then I would have to say Super Saiyan 4. However, since it's not canon, I really can't make a real argument for this. But I definitely think I can make a video about this in the future when I get more information about the Super Saiyan 4 versus Super Saiyan God debate, because I heard that there's going to be a Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods 2. So guys, I will just say that is a pending transaction. Black and Fist, what do you say?
I really have no say on this matter because I have not seen Battle of Gods, because I am waiting for an official release. So, this is probably why you haven't seen any of my, review from me, or any of me talking about too much Battle of Gods, because I haven't seen it.
Well, I guess I'm glad I didn't say too many spoilers. Alright, let's move on. Take this one, Black and Fist.
Trunks and Krillin killed Cell in Dr. Gero's lab. Thus, it kind of alters the past with no Cell, so therefore they wouldn't need to use the hyperbolic time chamber, and Gohan wouldn't turn Super Saiyan 2 as early as he did. How do you think the next timeline will go?
I am 99% sure this is a subscriber who watched my alternate timeline video, because he wouldn't be saying this if he hadn't. I mean, what's the best thing we can say here, Black and Fist? Well, you say your thoughts.
Well, Trunks and Krillin killed.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I mean, the Cell that we see Trunks and Krillin kill in Dr. Gero's lab, that was the current, the current world, current timeline Cell, right? So basically, they were just killing a Cell that was gonna grow up into into another one later, maybe 2 decades down the line, like in GT, for instance, right? So that's all they were really doing. They were just preventing that Cell from the current world, current timeline from, growing up and maturing. Because as we all know, the Cell that did come into the main timeline, as you want to say, is not from that timeline.
I think that he's making a reference. I'm not sure. I would need more information on this question to answer it better. And if you're a subscriber who's seeing this, please react to this question in the future. I want to know if you're talking about the unseen timeline or the main timeline, because that makes a huge difference. Because if you're talking about the unseen timeline, where Cell never traveled there via time machine, then I can see this making more of an impact. But if you're talking about the main timeline, they would still have to anyways, because Cell traveled them there via time machine. So it really depends on what timeline you are referring to. Either way, it makes a big difference or not a big difference at all, depending on which route we go. Alright, so let's move on to the next one. How come Vegeta and Trunks didn't make any progress? Oh man, I love this one already. During their second time in the chamber. I mean, that's another entire year. If they slightly ascended their first time, I'm sure they would have gotten double the results the second time. I 155% agree with this question. I don't think I can even say anything about it, because there's nothing that they said that I don't agree with. I definitely think it doesn't make any sense how they got such a bigger boost, and now knowing and understanding their power better, they went in and they got less results. Now you might be able to say because Vegeta and Trunks went in much weaker, they didn't really know what to do the second time they came in, especially because when they went back in, they basically didn't really know much before, because if you think about it, it was just one day, so they were like, oh yeah, I become an Ascended Saiyan the day before, now we go in, oh yeah, I have to find a way to get to the next step. That's much harder for them to do. It's more about knowledge of your body, even though it's kind of confusing. So
I know that some people are going to be saying, this doesn't make sense, but I think that this is simply You ever heard of the law of diminishing returns? Yeah, I think that's pretty much what's happening, and I also think that sometimes you just hit a brick wall. I don't know, I think you could just easily explain it away as, Vegeta kinda peaked at that moment in time and couldn't figure out a way to get beyond that. And then, of course, the law of diminishing returns was taking place. So I think you could just easily explain it like that.
Right, I definitely agree, but one thing I do want to say though is that, you remember, it probably took Vegeta years. The only reason Gohan became a Super Saiyan 2 was because of all his hidden energy. It took Vegeta years, and it probably took Goku years to become a Super Saiyan 2. So even though they didn't go back in the hyperbolic time chamber, it took a ridiculously longer amount of time to do so. So I hope that answers that part. And let's move on to the next one. If Goku didn't, I'm guessing he meant to say hurt his head video. Take this one, Black and Fist. Oh man, you're the Dragon Ball guy. You might love this
there's some new information coming out with Goku's mother, but I'm gonna disregard that just for the sake of simplicity, right? If Goku didn't hurt his head, I think it was clear cut that if he didn't hurt his head, he would have retained his more barbaric Saiyan instincts and would have probably. I'm thinking he would have probably killed Gohan like he did in the series, but he would have probably been like a wild child. Like if, let's say, Bulma ran into him, there would have been a good possibility that Goku would have killed her, and he would have probably gone on probably causing havoc on the Earth. I don't think that Goku. I don't think Goku would have actually have gotten through with killing everyone on the planet, because there are strong guys like Master Roshi who are formidable, and not to mention with the ability to destroy the moon. So I don't think that he would have destroyed the Earth or killed everyone, but I do think he would have been some sort of beast that would be rumored around, causing havoc. Now there's other new information with Goku's mother that says that Goku's mother is a kind, a soft-hearted, whatever Saiyan. Now, this implies that Goku is somewhat, innately like the way he was. That complicates things. I don't think that he would, if he didn't hurt his head, even with the new information, I don't think he would have became the Goku we would have known. But maybe he wouldn't have become like a monster rampaging around either. You know what I mean? So, with Goku's mother, that is still incomplete. We still don't know everything, as that chapter, that comic, has still yet to be released. Alright.
Right. I completely agree with it. All I wanted to add to that is saying that Dragon Ball Multiverse made a little small short story on what would have happened if Goku was evil and basically he just wiped out the whole Earth. So let's see this next one. Why were Saiyans so outclassed for the strongest warriors in the universe? That's a kind of a difficult question. Black and Fish, you want to take this one?
Yeah, it's very speculative. Now, see, the thing is, you don't have that much information to go on. I mean, we know that Saiyans were kind of a warrior people, but it is kind of true that for the most part, most Saiyans were kind of low in terms of strength compared to, I guess, the other species of the universe. There was only a couple Saiyans that were formidable to other, like the elites, like King Vegeta, and the top of the crop of the Saiyans. But most Saiyans were really, low in strength. I don't really know any explanation for that, really. Honestly, it's not really ever explored.
I completely agree, because we always think of the Saiyans as the strongest race, which they are because of Goku and Vegeta and stuff. But when you really think about it, there are races that were probably much more formidable than the Saiyans as a whole. I'm not talking about the individual Saiyans like Broly, if you want to consider him a part, because he is, obviously filler, and you have Goku, and you have Vegeta and Gohan and the rest. Those few Saiyans basically overpower almost anything in the universe. But when you take guys from other planets that were very, very, very formidable, they're way stronger than the Saiyans. Like Frieza, for example. Frieza was stronger than all the Saiyans, which would mean that Frieza has the strongest race. You would think. But then obviously because of Goku and the rest, that obviously changed in the future. So just think about that when you're factoring on all the different Saiyans. But this was a great question. Alright. Let's see. You take this one, Black Abyss.
What if Vegeta trained future Trunks in Trunks' timeline instead of future Gohan? Could they have beaten the androids?
Oh, that is an excellent question. That is an excellent question, Black and Fist. Answer it. What a great question, Trevor Williams. Trevor Williams, I have to give, you know, him a good shout out. He's probably, I mean, I know I have subscribers who love me with all their heart, but Trevor Williams, he always gives me, like, topics, and he's always commenting.
Well,
he's very, very, very active in my channel.
I'll be honest, I'm not sure about this one, because I'm not sure how to go this way. The only guess is maybe Vegeta would push Trunks farther than Gohan would have, because, you know, he is a little bit meaner, maybe making him stronger, but my reasoning doesn't go farther than that. So
here, I think I can kind of explain this one. I actually feel like I can actually make a video on this, but I have to think of more thoughts to make this a longer topic. I think that if Vegeta had survived somehow and trained Trunks instead of future Gohan, I think he would have stood a better chance. I'm not saying they would have beaten the androids, but my thing is this: Vegeta is a much smarter fighter than Gohan. He's more knowledgeable about fighting, and he's much more intelligent when it comes to, you know, improving your training. Gohan just has all this hidden power in him. So because of that, just by itself, that makes a big impact, because Trunks would be learning from somebody who's more experienced. Now, my thing is that Vegeta's not very easy to work with, but Vegeta pushing Trunks more than Gohan would have definitely have made Trunks more formidable against the androids. And Trunks would have also known it because it's his dad, so they would have bonded better, and he would have had more chances to train with him. So I definitely think it would have made an impact, but I don't think it would have been enough to kill the androids. Alright, let's see. Alright, Mystic Gohan versus Super Janemba, and Mystic Gohan versus Super Saiyan Gogeta. I think Mystic Gohan, honestly, I don't know why, but I just feel like he would be considering. I think the Potara gives you a bigger boost in power than the dance, since you need the same power. Love your vids. Zaki Cedinio. Okay. I think I can answer this one. Well, Well, I think he's asking me. I think he's asking me who would win between Mystic Gohan and Super Janemba, and Mystic Gohan between Super Saiyan Gogeta. Okay, number one, Gohan wouldn't be able to beat Super Saiyan Gogeta. It wouldn't even be close. He would get destroyed. But against Super Janemba, I think he might be able to hold his own. I don't think he'd get completely dominated, and here's why. Because in the movie, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who's much weaker than Mystic Gohan is, was able to hold his own against Super Janemba, which would make me believe that Mystic Gohan probably would have been able to defeat Janemba, if not at least equal in power. So, because of that, I'm going to have to give Gohan the edge over Super Janemba, surprisingly, but against Super Saiyan Gogeta, that's not even a conversation. And thank you for your compliment about my videos, Zaki Cedino. Alright, take this one, Black and Fist.
Hi, Qaaman's Land. I was wondering, what animes do you like besides Dragon Ball Z or Yu Yu Hakusho and such? Could you possibly link me up to a My Anime List or Hummingbird account if you have one?
Well, I guess this question is directly for me, so I guess I will say I used to watch anime a lot when I was a kid, and I like a lot of the old classic ones. Because I'm a full-time college student, it's not always easy for me to, you know, just watch new animes. But I am getting into Hunter x Hunter. I love Case Closed. I love Inuyasha. What else is there? Cowboy Bebop was awesome. I guess you can consider Dawn Hack-Sign a pretty popular anime. I guess you can consider it a part of it. I love that show. Zatch Bell was pretty good. What else? Rave Master, I guess you can consider that. I loved all those shows. I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. Naruto, it's okay. I just got lost because the story just progressed and I fell too far behind, and I'm just so far behind it would take me ridiculous amounts of times to get caught back up. But yeah, I do watch a lot of other animes when I get a chance, but I hope I answered your question. Alright, let's see. How would the Z Fighters react to gods like Zeus, Thor, Apollo? Oh my god. Okay, Black and Fist, take this one.
Dude, I have no idea.
What am I supposed to say?
Exactly. I'm guessing I don't know, I guess like their lightning strikes. I don't know. I'm guessing Goku would probably want to fight them. I mean, because Goku just wants to fight anybody who's strong. So I really don't know. I can't really imagine like how Vegeta would react to Zeus, Thor, or Apollo. I'm guessing. I'm guessing Apollo and Vegeta might want to fight. I don't know.
I mean, this is pretty cool. Like, I love this question. Oh my god. Alright, let's think here. If the Z... This is a fun question. I don't know how I can answer this, but this is a fun question. Okay. Zeus, Thor, and Apollo. Okay, I think Apollo's the god of war. If I'm, you know, wrong, please correct me, and I'm sure you guys will correct me in the comments. I think that the Z Fighters would probably get slaughtered because there's a difference between gods and fighters. Now, I definitely think that Zeus, Thor, and Apollo would admire a guy like Goku, because Goku would probably be much stronger than a guy like Hercules, who's half human, half god. So I definitely think they would fit in, and the gods would probably use the Z Fighters to, you know, watch over Earth and to use them as more of a team. So I definitely think it would be really interesting. That's a great question and pretty creative. I know a little bit about my Greek mythology, so I love the creativity of your question, whoever you are. Alright, let's see. What if the Fly Robot followed Gohan and Krillin and Bulma to Namek? Oh boy, we can go in so many directions. I actually want to make a video about this. Wow, whoever you are, you just gave me a topic. I don't want to say much because I feel like I can actually do a complete topic on this, because this can change the entire series simply based on the Fly Robots. Black and Fist, you want to share your thoughts?
Well, I guess the biggest thing that would happen is that Dr. Gero would be aware of the Super Saiyan transformation, but of course, considering it doesn't get destroyed on, like, you know, on dying Namek. But
dude, that's a good point, because it could probably just get blown up with.
And you know what? There's also a very, I'm just gonna put it like, and there's also like a very, would Dr. Gero like be able to get the information from another planet? I mean, obviously Dr. Gero, like, let's assume that he can, if he can get the information, and it doesn't get destroyed on dying Namek. Like, and obviously he learns a Super Saiyan transformation. I mean, would he make androids that are even stronger than that actually appeared in the series? That could be a possibility.
I completely agree. Here's what I have to say, though. One thing that we might not keep in mind here is that, you remember there was a small scene, and I have to correct ourselves. There was a small scene in Dragon Ball Z where Piccolo was talking to Cell, and Cell was demonstrating the robots. And Piccolo blew up the robot, but he's like, it's too late. The machine has already transported the information back to the lab. And that would expect me to believe that even they would just have to get a sample of what's going on in Namek, and even if they got blown up, the information would immediately be transported. So Dr. Gero is the master of technology. I'm sure he could find a way. So, but that's a great question. If anything, I'll give more information and insight in the future with this topic. Alright, let's see. Woo! Hiei before the Jigan versus the Toguro brothers. I'm gonna have to go with the Toguro brothers because before Hiei got the Jigan, and this is Trevor Williams again, before Hiei got the Jigan, Hiei was, I think he went from an A-class demon to a D-class, right? Now, even though the Jigan made him weaker in the short run, it made him much stronger in the long run, and Hiei would have needed the Jigan if he was able to take on the Toguro brothers. So I definitely think that even though Hiei, was much stronger initially, he would have needed it to defeat the Toguro brothers. So I'm gonna have to go with the Toguro brothers on this one.
Yeah, to me, it's just hands down Toguro brothers.
Yeah.
It just kind of seems. Oh, it kind of seems overpowered if he's taking them both on.
Yeah. Because, oh yeah, that's definitely true too. I mean, if you're talking about individual Toguro brothers, that's fine. But Hiei in the Chapter Black Saga would, destroy them for breakfast with ease. And definitely in the Three Kings Saga, it wouldn't even be a joke for him. Alright, let's see. I think this one is for you, Black and Fist.
How would Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z be impacted if if King Piccolo was never freed from the Doujinshi jar? Well, quite simply, Goku would be a lot weaker than he actually would be, because Piccolo was really one of the things that pushed him. I mean, just think about it. I mean, not only did he fight King Piccolo, then he fought, Piccolo's son, which was Ma Junior, which is the Piccolo we know. And both of those Piccolos pushed Goku to, new heights. The first Piccolo pushed him to new heights. He almost died fighting him. But it was really the importance of what happened after that, because after that Piccolo, he beat that Piccolo, he went to go train up in Kami's Lookout, which was, I think, some of the most important training Goku ever received. And it's safe to say that if, he never fought Piccolo in the first place, and Piccolo was never a threat, he probably would have never went to train on Kami's Lookout, or it would have been delayed severely by years. And not to mention, there would be no Ma Junior, there would be no Piccolo Junior. So one quick thing is that if Raditz came down to Earth, Raditz would easily overpower. I mean, first of all, even the Piccolo even the Goku that's in the series, like we see, is weaker than Raditz.
Much
yeah,
weaker.
So he would be even weaker than that. So Raditz would easily overpower Goku. See, but at that point, we don't know if Raditz would think Goku is too weak to join up, or Raditz would simply force Goku to join up, because, it's not hard to see that, and that would completely throw the whole series out of whack.
Right. I definitely agree with you. Goku would be significantly weaker. It wouldn't even be close. Alright, let's see what's next. Hey Qaaman, I'm a longtime fan. This is a specific question, but in your latest video, what's the future for first-person shooter games? Wow, I can tell this question was asked a while back, because that's not my most recent video. What is the dark hymn-like music that plays at the start of the video? It's before the Halo track. I want to know because I remember it from an old game, but I'm not sure. Thanks. Okay, well, I would have to check the video really quick in order to answer that question, but because I made the video, I strongly believe that I started the video off with Call of Duty World at War music. Now, I will definitely check into this, and if you remind me or find a way to contact me, I'll answer your question again, but off of the top of my head, it has to be a Call of Duty song. Alright. Take this one, Black and Fist. I think you'd love this question.
When you gonna answer questions, Qaaman?
Say exactly what you said the last time somebody said.
Right now? I don't know. I forgot what I say. I don't even remember.
You're like, we're answering right now.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Exactly, guys. We're answering. I know I'm a little late, but I'm here, and this is quite long. I have a little surprise for you guys, for those of you who are watching this through. There's going to be a spoiler for the video coming up this week. Alright, let's see. Here's a question. What if Trunks or Goku never showed up to Mecha Frieza's return on Earth? Wow. We've seen Trunks' time machine be a bit inaccurate, And what if Goku had enough faith in the Z Warriors to take care of Frieza? I think Vegeta's Zenkai boost might be a good factor, don't you think? No, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to disagree with this. I don't think they would have stood a chance. And here's the reason. Goku didn't just all of a sudden decide to just come back to Earth. The reason why Goku came back was because he sensed Frieza's energy was going towards the Earth, and he knew that the other Z fighters didn't stand a chance. Because remember, Frieza can't sense energy, but Goku and the rest of the Z fighters can. So Goku knew that they didn't stand a chance unless he came back to Earth, and that's the reason why he came in the first place. If Goku had confidence that they could defeat him, he would have never came back, that early at least. So that's what I have to say, and I'm pretty sure Black and Fist agrees with what I said.
Yeah, pretty much hands down. Yeah, they would have had no chance. I don't really see much that they would have been able to do. Obviously, like, even if they attacked all at the same time, they definitely wouldn't be able to take Frieza on a head-on fight. I don't even think they would have been taken. They would have took King Cold, whether he's stronger or weaker. So
they would have beaten the henchman, though.
They could have beaten the henchman, but that's it. That's it. That's all they would have had.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Oh, what is the editing software you use? I think we can both answer respectively. I used Camtasia, and I also used Adobe Premiere in order to make that that timeline theory video, because that one required more editing tasks, and also because my friend Mr. Dr. Professor Sir helped me create that video. Black and Fist, you want to answer that one for yourself?
Yes, I use primarily Sony Vegas. That's pretty much all I mean, I do use some other programs, like I do use Camtasia as well, but I don't use it as often as Qaaman does. But
yeah.
Primarily Sony Vegas for me.
Right. Alright, let's see. Who do you think are better, the non-canon Dragon Ball Z villains, Cooler, Broly, Janemba, and etc., or the canon DBZ villains, Frieza, Cell, and Majin Buu? Honestly, I don't think this is a fair question, Trevor Williams, because of one reason. Development of characters. I mean, if you really think about it, if we add, let's say, the two Cooler movies, we can say we've had maybe about an hour and a half of Cooler, and if you add the 3 Broly movies, maybe we have, let's say, 120 minutes, or, you know, maybe two and a half hours of Broly, maybe, and then 1 Janemba movie. So if you think about it, these villains are villains that we've had for not even close to the amount of development that Frieza, Cell, and Majin Buu did. And even though I don't think Majin Buu is as good as a villain as Frieza or Cell, he had much more development, so by default I'm gonna have to go with him. Now, I do think Broly would have been awesome if he was actually in the canon series. That would have been great to see the Saiyans fighting a big Saiyan. Or, you know, Cooler was a good throwaway after the Frieza saga, and Janemba was just thrown in there to make us a movie, in my opinion. I don't think of him as a very deep villain because he really didn't have much character. He was just an insane villain that just wanted to kill and slaughter people, kind of like Kid Buu. So I'm gonna have to go with Frieza, Cell, and Majin Buu just by development.
I pretty much agree. Pretty much exactly what you said. Like, immediately, yeah. As soon as I read the question, I was like, well, you know, like, the canon villains have had a lot more screen time, had more time to develop. So,
especially because Frieza had 20 episodes of a 5-minute exploding planet. Can't get worse than that. Alright, let's see. Ooh, Toguro versus Saiyan Saga Vegeta. Wow!
Man, now that is really hard, because, man, now you're just, like, going into, like, completely different series against each other, man.
Honestly, even though this was an interesting question, I like that they're trying to mix Yu Yu Hakusho and Dragon Ball Z, but I don't even think this question's close. Vegeta would probably blink and kill Toguro, and here's why. First of all, Toguro is not even that strong in terms of Yu Yu Hakusho. Toguro was a mid-tier villain in Yu Yu Hakusho. He was from the Dark Tournament Saga, which means that everybody from the Dark Tournament Saga and after was much stronger than him. Also, you gotta consider the fact that Vegeta can blow up planets. Toguro, you know, was able to pick up a stadium with his power, but I mean, it's not even close to what Vegeta can do and his capabilities. So, I don't even think this is a close question, but I like the creativity in your answer. Alright. Do you think Goku could fuse with the spirit of Shenron and become a draconic Super Saiyan? I think that kind of already happened at the end of Dragon Ball GT. I don't think Goku merged the Dragon Balls in him for no reason. I think he legitimately did become one with Shenron. And I think Goku kind of became godlike in a sort of way or another.
I just want to know what a draconic Super Saiyan is.
I think he meant like Draken or anything along those lines.
Oh. Okay. Because
Alright, let's see.
Weenies!
Oh, how should we answer this, Black Kid?
Thank you. I don't know.
Definitely, I do have one if you're curious. Alright, let's see. Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus Super Janemba.
That should be very easy.
Yeah, it's not close. It's a completely different scale of power. Janemba is a Dragon Ball Z villain. Super Saiyan 4 Goku is a hero from Dragon Ball GT. Not to mention, Super Saiyan 3 Goku can hold his own against Super Janemba. He's not stronger, but he can get in a couple good blows against Super Janemba. So if Super Saiyan 3 Goku can hold his own against Super Janemba, Super Saiyan 4 Goku would just eat him for breakfast. Alright, let's see. Who would win, Super Saiyan 3 Goku versus Mystic Gohan? Give your reason to. I don't need to because I made a video on this, so just look up my older video about who is the strongest villain in Dragon Ball Z besides Vegito. I gave all of my detailed points.
Exactly.
Legendary Super Saiyan 2 Broly versus Evil Boo.
Well, wait. I just need to say that there's no such thing as Legendary Super Saiyan 2.
Right, and theoretically, I would need more clarity on this question because when you mean Evil Boo, do you mean the gray one or do you mean Kid Boo? And there's an enormous difference in power between Kid Boo and Evil Boo.
I'm guessing he means the gray one. So,
well, by default, I'm gonna have to go with Boo.
I'm guessing you're assuming the Broly from Second Coming. I'm guessing that's why you put 2 there. And because obviously the Broly that appeared in the first movie would lose to Boo easily. The one in the Second Coming, I guess, would have a better chance, but I don't think he would win either.
Right. And, I mean, I think I made a video on how strong I think Broly was. I think even if Broly can go Super Saiyan 2, I don't think he would be strong enough for Boo. Maybe Super Saiyan 3, but not Super Saiyan 2. Okay. I want you to take this one back at this.
Base Vegito full power versus SSJ Gogeta full power. Gogeta has no time limit. Well, I mean, this is kind of like said before, I think, many times. I would say Vegeta would win because the Potaro fusion is a more potent fusion than the fusion dance. I think it's stated in the series explicitly. I think by the Elder Kai. I could be mistaken, but I think it's specifically stated by him that the Potaro earrings produces a more powerful fusion than the fusion dance.
Right. Here's my only thing that you might have to factor in, Black and Fist. He said base Vegito versus Super Saiyan Gogeta, and that makes a big difference. I'm gonna have to go with Super Saiyan Gogeta simply because he's Super Saiyan. Because there's an enormous difference between a Super Saiyan 1 and base. Like, Super Saiyan 1 and a base form are, like, drastically different.
I actually missed that one. Yeah, okay, so if Gogeta was, if Vegeta was in base form, then yeah, he probably wouldn't win, but, yeah.
Yeah. Who is your favorite Dragon Ball Z character? One Saiyan and one human. Tien is my favorite human, if you want to call him a human, even though I've heard some sources that said he wasn't. And I'm guessing I would have to... Can I call Gohan a Saiyan? If I can call Gohan a Saiyan, I guess I'll put him in here. Or maybe I could just call maybe I should just say Gohan and say he's Saiyan and human, so you get it. But I'm gonna have to go with Tien and Gohan.
Well, actually, my favorite character in all of Dragon Ball is Gohan. So I was gonna say, like, does Gohan count as a Saiyan? If Gohan doesn't count as a Saiyan, then my favorite Saiyan would be Goku. But as for human, hands down, Tien Shinhan. Tien Shinhan is like just one of the more. I think he is pretty much the most badass. Not human only, but just one of the more badass characters in Dragon Ball. I do feel that he's like, I don't know if he's kind of underused too much. I think, but man, when he shines, he really does shine. I think.
Let me just say one quick thing. Piccolo is my second favorite character behind Gohan, but you asked me for a human and you got yourself a human. Alright, let's see. What does the J stand for in Super SSJ, SSJ2, etc.? Okay, it's really simple, really not much to explain here. When people pronounce Saiyan in Japan, it's kind of pronounced like Saiyajin instead of Saiyajin. There's a difference.
No, I'm no Japanese expert, but Namekians in the Japanese are also they're said Namekia-jin or something like that. I probably did not pronounce that right, but I do think Jin means people, right? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure. I'm no Japanese, but I think Jin means people. So when the whole thing of Saiyajin is just meaning vegetable people. I think this is what it means.
Right.
I think this is because of course Toriyama with all his puns. So Saiyajin, I think it's kind of a more literal translation would be vegetable people.
Right. All right. So it seems like we can probably fit in 5 more questions, and we're gonna go crash course, and I'm gonna give you guys that spoiler really soon. So we answered this one about the Saiyajins. In the current timeline, where we know the Dragon Ball Z universe, do you think that Bulma built a time machine for present Trunks so he could go back to the past and give Goku the anti-heart virus antidote, so like future Trunks did before him? No, I do not, because I'm the type of person that thinks that people do things for a reason, and I think that Bulma built Trunks a time machine in the future timeline because it was a necessity. I don't think she would have ever built one in the main timeline because she really had no need to use it, because there was no real crisis since Goku and Gohan and Vegeta were always there to protect the Earth. So I definitely don't think she would have built a time machine for Trunks to go back. That's just my personal opinion. If you're talking about the main timeline. Alright, Black and Fist?
During the Cell game, someone watching looked like General or the President remembered Goku, but did not recognize him in an SSJ form. Could Goku become famous if he was on television in his base form? Yes. The person that recognized him in the Cell Saga was King Furry. Now, King Furry, he's pretty much the ruler of the planet. He saw Goku when he was a kid, when he faced Demon King Piccolo. That's how he knows. That's when he first saw him. And yes, when I guess he kind of recognized him, even in his SSJ form. As for Goku being famous, you could say Goku kind of is famous. You could say that. I mean, he did make it to the finals of all 3 3 World Martial Arts tournaments, and he won one of them. So I'm pretty sure in martial arts circles he's pretty well known. So, and especially after the Cell games, that was televised all over the world. So you could say Goku is famous. Yeah.
All I gotta say is Hercule's a bitch, and it's really hilarious how the entire world is ruled by a dog, when yet we're supposed to be the superior species. But then again, you do have Saiyans, and Saiyans aren't human. Alright, we can answer these final 3 questions. Where did the sensu beans come from? Black and Fist, take this one.
We don't ever see how they're grown, but they're grown by Korin, and I guess it's later assumed that they're also grown by Yajirobe because he lives up there eventually. We never really see how Korn grows these beans. We never see him how he does it, but they're grown up there and they're grown by him. That's all we know, really.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I wish I could tell you more, bro, but I really honestly don't.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. Answer these questions quicker, man, or I'll unsub. Seriously, WTF, what the fuck, man? Sorry, I'm here right now. That's the least I can say. Alright, since that was an easy question, let's see. 2 more. Oh, I want to get the third one, because by Dactran, that seems like that would be a great final question. Estimate how strong Goku would be after he trained with Shenron onto GT. You can make it a video. Yes, I will make this a video. As a matter of fact, let's not even answer this one, because that in itself would require so much explaining that I can make a video on that. Super Saiyan Gogeta versus Mystic Gohan. I think we did this one already. I think we said that Super Saiyan Gogeta would be just because of the fact that he's a fused character, and Mystic Gohan would just be much weaker, even if it was a Meta-Maurice fusion. And last, but definitely not least, let's answer this last question by Dactran. And let's answer this last question to end off this day, Black and Fist. Because we guys gave you a 9,000 subscribers special of an hour of us answering all of your Dragon Ball Z questions. How strong is Mr. Poo Poo? Yes, guys, I said it, Mr. Poo Poo. Go. Share your thoughts first, Black.
How strong is he? Well, Mr. Popo is actually much stronger than people actually think. Now, because Mr. Popo has never really been in a fight, we really can't gauge him towards anybody else. However, in the Daizenshus, and of course, I'm about to use power levels here. Some people don't like that, but I mean, it gives us a general, scope of how, how strong they are, in terms of their power level. Anyway, his power level was around 1,200. Which is, if it was true, that would mean that he would hold his own against Raditz.
Well, then why the fuck didn't he help?
Well, the thing is, Mr. Popo doesn't help at all, so, I mean, you could always say that. But the thing is, if some people are saying, no, that's a little bit too strong, well, it is. If that's a little bit too strong for you, I would still say that Mr. Popo is definitely, throughout most of Dragon Ball, I think up until, like late in the Saiyan saga, is actually one of the strongest beings on Earth. No joke. Mr. Popo could have probably, even if he wasn't stronger than Raditz, he would have probably held his own with Raditz, by himself, I think. And even if he wouldn't, he would have easily been able to replace Goku or Piccolo in that fight. He definitely, he was way stronger when Goku arrived on Kami's lookout, when he went up the train. So, Mr. Popo, I would say his greatest potential is beating Raditz, or the least is maybe at least holding his own on a one-on-one match.
Well, I think that if what you're saying is true about the whole Raditz thing, then it's kind of weird, because that basically means Mr. Popo was the strongest person on Earth for a very, very, very long time. As a matter of fact, you mean to tell me that Mr. Popo should have been able to have defeated King Piccolo? He should have been able to have defeated many, many, many of the Dragon Ball Z villains, because if you think about it, if you're talking about him being as strong as Raditz, that's basically stronger than everybody in Dragon Ball, and I just think that's way too much.
Well,
I would put him maybe ahead of Master Roshi.
Well, he's definitely way ahead of Master Roshi. Now, yes, I do. Now that does kind of seem weird that he would be that strong. And of course, I'm only taking this from the information on his power level, which would be around 1,200, which I'm pretty sure is in the Daizenshu. If that's too high for you, then he definitely is in that range where, I don't know how to put it. He would probably be in that range around Kami's fighting prowess. And And Kami's fighting prowess is close to King Piccolo's, so I would say if Popo might be slightly less strong, if not a little bit more stronger, honestly.
Well, guys, if you guys are interested in hearing what you guys will get for this week's upcoming video, I'll give you the spoiler right now, and please don't post it in the comments so you guys can spoil it for the others. For this week's video, I will be doing a video on what if Future Trunks came back to the main timeline during the Boo Saga. Please don't spoil it for others in the comment section below, but that will definitely be the video. This has been an hour-long video. I have never done a video this long that I can remember, and I love it if you guys really stayed through and I answered all of your questions. Thank you guys for all of your support. I am over 9,000 subscribers. Pretty soon I'm going to be over 10,000, and that will be a landmark for my channel, guys. Thank you for all the love and support, and please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And remember, as I always say, to have a great day, guys, and please check out Black and Fish channel, as that is my backup channel if this channel ever gets taken down. Adios, mi amigos.